Alright, so I want to talk about Vanaris Tactics. I want to talk about, is it worth your time and money? Exactly what is this game? First of all, the game came out August 4th, 2022, and it is being sold for $9.99 at the moment of this recording. There's a 10% discount, $8.99. So, first of all, this game is single player, Steam achievement, full control support, and there is Steam Cloud. Let's get this right off the bat. This is an indie game, guys. Okay, so let's not expect the whole AAA package here. Yes, there is the basics. There is a story, and gameplay is pretty decent. The story is it takes place in a nice little fantasy world, you know, medieval, but you got like a lot of fantasy stuff, like wizards who know magic, lots of different sorts of evil creatures. You got like ogres, orcs, the giant spiders, etc. So that's the whole setting. The story is you take control of a group of refugees who have lived in a town and pretty much as slaves for a long time. They're being oppressed and they now rebel and they want to leave the place. The story just picks right up. You are trying to run away. You play as Morgana. You go and she is like an archer-ish class. And then her brother, Nigel, he is a sort of tanky warrior. And then her nephew, which is more like a little thief character. You guys band up and you guys leave the place. And the whole story is you guys escape and lots of twists and turns, you know, who is betraying them, blah, blah, blah. You go through different areas, talk to other people, slowly gather troops, and then that's pretty much the story. So I would say the story is like 20% of the game. 80% of the game is absolute gameplay, and this is a grid-based, turn-based game. I really liked it because it reminds me of playing Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, I wouldn't say the PS1 version, but maybe more of like the GBA one, where it's just very simple, cute little graphics, and you know, it has your basic classes. You're not going in and changing jobs right off the bat. Every character is set what they do. You fight, you level up, and every character has, you know, all the basic stats that you have seen from that. You take turns based on your movement speed. You go depending on their class, how far you can move. You have different elevations. You attack from the front. You absolutely have less accuracy than if you attack from the side or behind. You take turns, and then you use basic attacks, range, melee, different skills. And because this is a fantasy world, you can do stuff like, you know, whirlwind attacks. You can buff yourself, you can taunt, you can sleep, you can heal, etc. And I was actually surprised that the, you know, this being a small little indie game, the AI is decent. They're smart enough that you're gonna want to have to, like, you can't just rush the story. You are gonna get wrecked. You want to go through and play a lot of the stages. It's nice that the, like I mentioned, the AI is pretty decent. You know, they will heal characters when they're low. They will attack and then reposition themselves afterwards. I do have to say, though, that with this sort of game, it feels more of an arcadey type of experience where you have a 1-time speed and then you have a 2-time speed during battle. I feel like it's a little too slow even with the 2-time speed, but I did get used to it. This is one of those games where you're not like 100% fully invested, but it's nice to have, you know, sitting in the background while you're watching a stream or something. It's one of those games where it's pretty light in terms of the overall experience, but it is a fun little strategy game, grid-based, that just reminds me of the good old, you know, GBA games. But yes, there are some quality of life stuff that needs to be there. First of all, you can't see, you know, how far enemies are moving. You can't see what they do. You cannot plan ahead in terms of your characters. Pretty much, they level up and then boom, all the stats go randomly. I'm assuming depending on their class, like maybe the archer will get more, you know, mana as opposed to more HP for the warrior class. But you just don't know what they're going to be learning. Like, oh, I leveled up. Why did I learn dual strike? I just can do it now, I guess, and all that stuff. So it's basically just point of interest to point of interest. It's not even that long of a game. I think they said in the Steam page there's like 15 or so gigantic missions where you're going to be doing story points, etc. But then there's a lot of side stuff you can do, and I do appreciate that. Like I mentioned, the AI is decent. There's no difficulty settings. It's pretty much just normal, and then you go in and get wrecked. So you want to do the optional stuff, and this includes you redoing maps that you have the story points on, and you can fight them like up to 4 times, and then after that you have an optional boss fight which you can do, and you do get some really cool accessories, and then you can just keep refarming that area. But yeah, every character can use different sorts of weapons depending on their class. They get different accessories which increases, I don't know, movement speed, maybe gives them resistances and stuff like that. It even buffs up other stuff. And then they can wear and equip different items. And it's very limited, so you have to be pretty prepared. Like you do want to bring in bandages for this character so they can heal others. Maybe you want to have something that prevents you from sleeping, etc. You know, it really depends on the encounter. So if you go in and you lose an encounter, it's not the end of the world. The game basically just says you lose. It doesn't game you over. It doesn't load you back in to your last save, which would be pretty punishing. It just goes back to the main screen where you can walk around and, you know, go back to another place to sell or buy some more items, or go ahead and farm up an area. So it's a nice quick experience. I think $10, it's a perfectly fine price. I think $7 would be perfect though, like perfect. But yeah, it's just came out. It's mostly positive right now on Steam. I did not look at the reviews, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be saying, hey, quality of life stuff, absolutely, they would love to see more stuff. But once again, it's good enough. If you have played a lot of these strategy games, you know, you're going to go through turns very quick, very fast, and it's nice going to different areas because you don't know which new characters you're going to be encountering, and then you could always walk back to a previous shop and see it updated with new different types of gear that slowly change up the gameplay. So yeah, it's not terrible. It's not an amazing game. Go in knowing that it's an indie game with some flaws, with some things that you want, but it's perfectly playable. So if you guys enjoyed, leave a like, it helps a lot. If you haven't already subscribed for daily videos, if you guys want, please join me on my Twitch live streams and the Discord. All links are down below. Let me know what you guys think of Vanaris Tactics. Are there any other sort of grid-based strategy turn-based games that are similar to this that you would like to recommend to me and others? I would like to know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.